Good day, ma'am. My name is Francis Liv de la Cruz, and today I will discuss module 4. So, for the main lesson, based on module, pillars of traffic. These are the main areas of traffic management, which are also known as the E's of the traffic. So, first, traffic engineering. It's the science of measuring traffic and travel, the study of the basic laws relative to the traffic law and generation. So, the application of knowledge to the professional practice of planning, deciding, and operating traffic system to achieve safe and efficient transportation of person and goods. That the pillar of traffic that deals with the planning and geometric design of streets, highways, and abutting lands, and with the traffic operation thereon as their use in related to the safe, convenient, and economic transportation of person and goods. So, sinasabi lang dito na yung traffic engineering ay isang sangay ng civil engineering na kung saan gumagamit sila ng technique upang sa kaligtasan ng mga tao. So, functions of traffic engineering. Agencies involved in traffic engineering usually perform the following tasks. So, number 1, fact-finding, service, and recommendation of traffic rules and regulations. Number 2, supervisions and maintenance to the application of traffic control devices. And 3, planning of traffic regulations. So, ano nga ba yung function ng traffic engineering? So, they also help to resolve the issues that obstruct the process. It also focuses on the functional aspects of road, especially geometry that make it allow flow, including the traffic signs. So, letter B, agencies and or traffic under traffic engineering. First, DPWH. Its scope, it's national, which includes the responsibility for determining traffic law, pattern, draw origin and destination, studies of person and things, planning, approving, funding, and construction of natural roads which connects cities and municipalities, network of national roads through cities and municipalities, and yearly maintenance and repair programs. So, next naman, elementary. Traffic education is focused on safety and guides, stressing traffic safety classroom, discussion of accidents, incidents, and safety rules, and organizing safety patrols. So, dito naman sinasabi lang na nakatuon lang yon sa kaligtasan at nagbibigay din para sa kaligtasan din ng sa trapiko. Doon tinatalakay yung mga aksidente or incidents na maaring mangyari or mangyayari upang makontrol yung mga nangyayaring accident. So, next naman, secondary. High school students are geared towards school safety organizations. Then, next naman is higher education. Some colleges and universities offer and conduct courses regarding traffic safety subjects. So, may mga kolehiyo at university na nagsasagawa or nag-aalok ng mga kurso tungkol sa mga traffic. So, next naman, B, public information programs. The public should be informed on all activities affecting the citizens and the community relating to traffic. This can be done through the public information agency, newspaper, radio, and television, broadcasting networks, and other forms of media. So, dito naman sinasabi lang na yung publiko daw ay nagpapaalam ng mga aktibidad na may kaugnayan sa trapiko. Nagagawa yun sa pamamagitan ng pag-share ng information tulad sa dyaryo, yung mga naririnig natin sa TV, at saka yung napapanood din natin. So, next naman, C, citizen support groups. These are mostly composed of voluntary non-government organizations, radio communication groups, Rotary organizations, and other voluntary clubs. So, this organization usually develop citizens' responsibilities, conduct organized educational campaigns, instill awareness of the traffic problems, and provide information regarding major traffic requirements and needs. So, dito naman sinasabi na Ito daw yung mga binubuo ng mga voluntaryong nasa non-government organization tulad ng Radio Communication Group, Rotary Organization at iba pang mga nagbo-voluntary na club upang mapaunlad yung mga pananagutan ng mga mamayan na nagsasagawa ng organisadong kampanyang pang-edukasyon at magbigay ng impormasyon tungkol sa pangunahing pangailangan at tungkol din sa trapiko. So, next naman, traffic enforcement. This field deals mostly on the implementation and enforcement of traffic laws and rules and regulations. The following are the various agencies or office that are involved in the enforcement of traffic laws. So, first, Land Transportation Office or mas kilala nating LTO. It is responsible for vehicle registration, vehicle inspections, driver licensing, and public to the police on stolen or wanted vehicles. So, sila yung mga may responsibility para sa mga nagre-rehistro ng sasakyan, ng motor, o sa mga nag-i-inspect din mga sasakyan. Lalo na yung mga nag-check kung may lisensya or may papel. Yun yung mga responsibility nila. At higit sa lahat yung mga ninanakaw din na na sasakyan, tsaka yung mga kotse, sila yung mga parang nag-iimbestiga doon. B. Legislative bodies included are the Senate, Congress, provincial boards, and city and municipal council, responsible for passing and or amending of laws and or ordinances. So, dito naman, sila lang yung mga parang nag-approve or nagpapakalat ng mga law or ordinances para mabigay alam sa mga tao kung ano yung mga bawal or hindi bawal. So, next naman, C. Police traffic enforcement and government personnel who are duty to authorize for the direct enforcement of traffic law such as PNP, Highway Patrol Group. Next, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. Next, Police Traffic Auxiliaries. And next, LTO, Law Enforcement Services or Flying Squad. So, yung katulad sa sa PNP, sila yung patrol group, sila yung mga yung pag may nagkakamali sa mga highway, sila yung mga humahabol or nagsisita doon para maiwasan yung mga mangyayaring aksidente. So, ito, sila yung mga may power upang mapatupad yung batas at para maiwasan din yung mangyayari pang aksidente. B. Agencies and or offices under traffic engineering. So, number 1, DPWH. So, its scope is national, which includes the responsibility for determining traffic law, pattern, draw origin and destinations, studies of persons and things, planning, approving, funding, and construction of national roads which interconnect cities and municipalities, network of national roads through cities and municipalities, and yearly maintenance and repair programs which include widening and redesigning of current road system. So, yung DPWH daw ay sila yung mga may responsibilidad para sa pagpaplano ng pagpapanatili ng mga sistema tulad sa problema na sa baha, sa mga gumagawa dun sa mga highway, yung mga nakikita natin na sila yung nag-aayos ng sistema at gumagawa pa ng mga ibang proyekto, gawaing pampubliko. So, number 2 is provincial government. These local government units have similar responsibilities with the DPWH but are limited to traffic facilities in the municipalities within the province. So, ito naman, katulad lang siya ng sa DPWH, pero limitado lang yung pasilidad nila sa trapiko, tulad ng sa mga probinsya. So, next, municipal government and chartered cities. Then, punta naman tayo sa objectives of traffic engineering. So, first, to achieve an efficient, free, and rapid flow of traffic. Next, to prevent traffic accidents. Next, to simplify police enforcement action and performance. Next, to show that good police actions and performance makes engineering plan effective. And lastly, to present the close relationship of the pillars of traffic in the improvement of traffic problems. So, to make it short, sinasabi lang dito na para maunawaan pa natin yung daloy ng trapiko at matukoy pa ng mga engineer at makabuo pa sila ng mga magandang solusyon para sa ating problema sa trapiko. So, next, traffic education refers to any act or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge on traffic or any matters relating to the use of the traffic way or roadways. Traffic safety education is the primary concern of traffic education in the area of accident reduction and prevention. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga yung traffic education? So, sinasabi lang dito na upang mabawasan yung panganib ng aksidente o pinsala ng mga kalsadang nangyayari na sa pamamagitan ng walang disiplina na kinakasangkutan ng road engineering at traffic management. So, ang layunin nito ay upang masanay na yung mga tao na gumagamit ng kalsada. So, next naman, schools, public and private, can be carried out by imparting the knowledge concerning traffic safety, training and practicing the actual application of traffic safety, and developing traffic safe morality. So, sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng kaalaman tungkol sa kaligtasan ng trapiko, dito nagsasanay ng actual na aplikasyon para sa kaligtasan ng trapiko at pagbuo ng moralidad sa kaligtasan din para sa lahat.
Welcome to Module 6, Traffic Management and Accident Investigation with Driving. Let's tackle about the lesson title of this module. The pillars or 5 E's, Traffic Ecology or Environment, Economy, and Enactment. The lesson objectives of this module is to identify the objectives and functions of traffic management, traffic economy, and enactment. The other one is to determine the ecology, environment, and traffic economy can be carried out effectively in order to successfully manage traffic. So let's begin into the main lessons of this topic, traffic ecology and environment. This pillar of traffic deals with the rapid increase in populations, deviations in urban and rural environments, such as air pollution, water pollutions of the resulting effects of natural disasters, such as earthquakes, typhoons, tsunami, flash flood, storms, landslide, and to include the man-made disasters. It can affect that traffic system management have on our health, environment, and climate. Environmental effect of transformations traffic. The following are some of the effects of transformation traffic in people and environment. The first one is noise. The ill effect of noise is one consideration is evaluating the consequences of traffic to the environment. It is expected that continued exposure to noise levels beyond 80 dBA decibel every year can result in hearing problems. Hereunder is the ideal background noise. Number 1, typical home. The second one is heavy trucks, freight trains, and also air conditioning. Next, vibrations is a power of drive and occurrence whereby fluctuations occurs about the stability point. The words come Latin, vibrations. The fluctuations may be periodic, such as the motions of the pendulum, or random, such as the movement of tire of heavy trucks on the surface of the gravel roads, which can be severe. Dito lumalala yung mga truck pag namibigat, lalo na pag may vibration, 'di ba? Pag bumabagyo, mabagal yung mga truck na bumabiyahe kasi madulas. Yun. Next is air pollutions. Refers to the release of contaminants into the air that is detrimental of human health and the planet as a whole. Ang effect naman nito yung air pollution can be strong, and salt, air pollutants, greenhouse gases, and pollen mold. Ito naman yung air pollution na nagdudulot ng mga smog sa atin, yung air pollution, yung mga nalalanghap natin, ganun. Next one is dirt. Filthy materials such as mud or dust dissolve someone or something brought about vehicles using the streets. Alam naman natin yung dirt, diba? Yung mud or dust that dissolve someone or something brought about vehicles na nagaano sa mga sasakyan. Nakakapagpabagal ng mga daloy ng sasakyan kasi nga madumi, ganun. The next one is visual interference. Refers to the impaired ability of the driver to verify usual properties of objects that can result in positive as well as negative effects. Ito namang visual interference, ito yung nagbibigay ito ng mga negative effects, pwede din naman sa positive effects dito about sa driver or verify visual properties of object and results. Next one, loss of privacy. Drivers and passengers being able to look at someone's house is dislike environmental effect. Walls must be constructed to prevent this as well as reduce noise. Tama nga naman, minsan yung mga pasahero nawawala na sila ng mga privacy dahil diba sa mga sinasakyan natin pag nakatingin sa mga bahay-bahay na dinadaanin natin. Next, changes in amount of light. Smog or smoke from the muffler of vehicles usually causes this problem. Tama to. Diba yung mga sasakyan na, yung mga usok nila, malakas. Lalo na yung maitim, ang baho. Siyempre, naamoy natin yun. Yun yung nakakapasira sa ating mga kalusugan. Yung mga amoy nila. Next one, neighborhood. Neighborhood severance, both physical and sociological. Ito naman ay refers to change travel time, cost, and accident experience to pedestrians. Minsan yung mga dumadaan sa mga pedestrian, minsan din natin nakikita. Yun yung mga physical na nakakaano tayo. Di ba pag nagtra-travel tayo, may mga pedestrian lane, doon sila dumadaan yung mga taong naglalakad. Next one, relocation. People who are relocated will tend to decentralized as well as affected by the environmental consequences and convenience of availability of transport system. Alam na ba natin yung relocations, di ba? Next one, distractions during planning and construction. This may cause loss of business, excess noise, dirt, vibration during construction, excess road cause through the diversions because of building. Di ba yung mga nag-ayos ng mga building, nakakasira din naman ng ating kalikasan yon. Nakaka-distract sa mga plano, mga ganon. The next one is accident experience. Accident experience should be evaluated properly by traffic managers or drivers themselves to prevent future accidents by providing solutions as to its causes. Ito yung mga accident experiences natin na hindi natin makakalimutan. For example, nagbibiyahe tayo, nagbibiyahe tayo, tapos may pupuntahan. Tapos hindi natin alam na may madedisgrasya tayo. Tapos yun, malalaman natin yung experience natin about sa mga roads, sa mga pedestrian lane, doon natin may experience doon at hindi na natin makakalimutan yung araw na yun because of our experiences. Next, pedestrian journey. Routes must be designed in such a way that it provides convenience to the riding public. Yun ang pedestrian journey. Alam naman natin yung mga dinadaanan, di ba? Lalo na pag naglalakad tayo, galing sa mga pedestrian bago tumawid sa kabilang kalsada. And the next one is congestions and other benefits to vehicles. Travel must be made convenient. Highway, diversion, curbs indicate that 80% of the traffic will make a route that is 20% faster. Vehicle travel time is made up 3 components. Ito yung mga 3 components ng mga benefits ng mga vehicles. Free-flowing travel, stop time, and accelerations of declarations. Factors influencing the existing and future activities on the populations. May 5 tayong influencing the existing future activities on populations. The first one is fast population growth. Di ba? Ang bilis tumaas ng mga population natin. The second one, increasing urbanizations, increasing number of vehicles using the streets. Di ba dumadami na ng mga sasakyan doon sa mga sa mga roads, sa mga streets. The next one is modernization of industries. Next, modernization of transport system. Yun, dumadami na ng mga transportation dito sa ating roads. Yun. Alternatives. More pleasant environment must be achieved without negative implications for economy and trade. Some of the proposed activities that may reduce the opposing effect of traffic development and our ecology. Ito naman ay yung may adding tayo dito na alternatives about sa environment. First one is towns are better than less traffic. Yun. So long as an adequate provisions is made for the mobility of workers and residents and on the distributions of goods. It is urgent and necessary that the national and local governments should initiate efforts to reduce the adverse effect of traffic congestion in urban areas. Kailangan naman itong gobyerno natin, dapat masolusyonan na yung pagdami ng mga sasakyan kasi nakakasira sa ating environment. Yung mga usok natin, nalalanghap natin, padami na ng padami, padumi na ng padumi ang ating environment. Yun, nasisira naman na ang ating kalusugan. The next one is improve efficiency and quality of service buses and mass transport. Oo, di ba parang dumadami na yung mga buses ngayon na sinasakyan natin, pero umi-improve na siya. The next one is improve environment and safety for pedestrians. O kailangan padamihin pa yung pedestrians. Kasi syempre, di ba, marami ng taong naglalakad, nandito ko sa kalsada, tatawid ko sa kabilang kalsada, di ba, doon tayo dumadaan sa mga pedestrians. Next one is the use of non-carbon emitting vehicles or electric or solar powered or bicycles should be encouraged. O di ba, sa mga nagbabike, dumadami na din yung nagbabike ngayon, di ba? Para may exercise na din sila, parang mas safe na pag bike, yung mga bike yung ginagamit. The next one is motor vehicle reduction scheme should be introduced. The next one is laws and status concerning traffic ecology. PD 1181 prevention and control abatement of air pollution from motor vehicles and for other purposes. Yun. Next one is letter of instruction number 551. Ang ibig sabihin na to is the law directing the law enforcement agencies to implement a pollution control program. Tama nga naman, dapat yung pollution, dapat may solution na yan. Dapat may nakokontrol para hindi natin masyadong malanghap kasi nga 'di ba araw-araw nakakalanghap tayo ng iba't ibang polluted, yung mga smoke ng mga jeep, mga yon. The next one is Republic Act 8749 or otherwise known as Clean Air Act. An act providing for the regulations of motor vehicles emitting toxic gases like the use of diesel and leaded gasoline. O dapat di napatupad na tong Clean Air Act na nagbibigay ng mga toxic gases like diesel and gasoline. Itong mga diesel and unleaded gasoline, ito yung mga inaano sa mga motor. Alam niyo naman siguro yun. Next one is our Republic Act RA 8750, known as the seatbelt law in the Philippines. O yung mga sasakyan ngayon, yung mga for example, yung mga kotse, 'di ba? Kailangan natin mag-seatbelt para mas safe tayo pag nagtra-travel. The other one is traffic economy. This refers to the expenditures incurred by the drivers, pedestrians, those in the business sector, and etc. as a result of delay of travel or transactions brought about by the existing mode of the condition of transformations, progress and development of a certain places or areas engaged. Ito naman yung traffic economy na mga tungkol sa drivers, pedestrians, yung pag-staff nila sa mga pedestrians para dumaan yung mga naglalakad para makatawid sa ibang kalsada. For the next one is economics. Economics is the branch of knowledge involved in production and consumption and allocations of wealth. Yun yung economic naman. And the other one is enactment of laws. Refers to new laws on traffic, its amendments, ordinances in every locality purposely created for an effective enforcement and management. Traffic, yung enactment laws naman, yun yung mga nagpapatupad ng laws, announcement, sila yung nagpapatupad ng mga ordinances in every locality.
Francis Lee de la Cruz, and today I will discuss Module 7. So, for the main lesson, What is traffic safety education? So, it is the process of training roads users in the avoidance and prevention of traffic-related accidents. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga tayo mag-aral ng traffic? So, ang pinakamagandang dahilan kung bakit napakahalaga is for our safety, lalo na sa kalsada. Dahil maraming buhay ang nakataya kapag ikaw ay nasa kalsada, maaaring ikaw yung maaksidente o ikaw yung makakaaksidente. At kapag ikaw ay nakasada, mahalagang maturo yun, lalo sa mga bata, upang magkaroon na agad sila ng moralidad at paglaki nila, sunod-sunod lang yung nalalaman nila, ituturo nila sa magiging anak nila. Parang yung tinatawag nating henerasyon, tinuturo yun simula nung ikaw ay matanda, tapos ituturo mo yun sa mga bata. So, next is road safety. It refers to reduce risk or accident or injury on the roads achieved through multidisciplinary approaches involving road engineering and traffic management, education, and training of road users, vehicle design. So, sinasabi lang dito na yung kaligtasan natin sa kalsada ay isang bagay na pinakamahalaga na dapat nating sundin sa lahat ng oras upang matiyak ang kaligtasan ng mga driver, mga sasakyan, mga pasahero, at sa mga tumatawid sa kalsada. So, next naman, factors contributing to accidents. First, human errors include going too fast or excessive speed, failing to give at intersections, overtaking improperly, and intoxication of alcohol or drugs and others. So, sa human error naman, may iba na sobrang bilis magpatakbo ng motor or sasakyan. Kung kaya't nagkakaroon ng hindi niya na makontrol yung pagpreno niya or hindi siya nakakapagbawas, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng aksidente. Tapos may mga driver din na hindi marunong huminto kapag nasa intersection. Hindi sila gumagamit ng stop, look, and listen. Dapat pag nakahinto ka, titignan mo muna kung bago ka kumanan, bago ka lumiko, tsaka ka lang aandar kapag go na. Yung iba kasi hindi sumusunod, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng aksidente. So, next naman, yung mga driver na nag-overtake, hindi man lang tumitingin sa side mirror o di kaya sa likod niya kung may kasunod ba siya. Kung kaya't nagkakaroon din ng aksidente. Then next naman, yung mga nakainom ng alak, gumagamit ng drugs, sa sobrang antok nila or sobrang high nila, di nila napapansin na may tao sa likod or may motor, kaya nagkakaroon din ng aksidente. So next naman, road deficiencies that are the main contributory factors are poor design of layout and control at intersections. Next, inadequate signing, road marking, and lighting and slippery roads. So, dito naman sa road deficiencies, so, napapansin natin yung ibang kalye, may intersection pero walang sign na kung saan ka pupuntang lane, hindi mo makita or late mo na makita yung sign, kaya nagkakaroon ng aksidente. Tulad nung malabo na yung sign, punit na yung sign, or sira-sira na, hindi mo na maintindihan. Tapos, hindi mo na makita, sobrang dilim, wala na ring ilaw. So, next naman, number 3, main vehicle factors are defect in tires, brakes, and lights. So, number 3, main vehicle factors are defect in tires, brakes, and lights, and absence of non-using of seatbelts. So, may mga ibang enforcer na nagkakamali sila ng pagbigay ng ticket dahil na rin to sa mga nagkakamali tumingin ng signboard at road marking. So, kaya nga tayo nagkaroon ng license na driver license kasi tinuturoan tayo tumingin ng mga traffic signs, yung mga violation na tinuturo para hindi tayo magkamali, tsaka maiwasan natin yung mga aksidente tulad ng mga speeding the red light, yung alam mo nang nakahinto tapos bigla ka mag-go, tapos syempre may mga nakabantay doon, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng violation para maiwasan din yung aksidente. So, next naman, Levels of traffic safety education, imparting knowledge concerning traffic safety, training and practicing the actual application of traffic safety knowledge, and developing safety morality. So, dito lang sinasabi na dapat may alam tayo tungkol sa traffic, especially yung actual application, kung talagang marunong ba tayo mag-drive, yung marunong tayo kasi paano mo maiwasan yung aksidente kung ikaw mismo hindi ka marunong gumamit ng motor or nalilito ka pa, lalo na based on my experience, once in a lifetime na accident ako. Hindi ko masyado gamay yung motor, nataranta ako, hindi ko nagamit yung signal light. So yun, nagka-anuhan kami, nagka-bungguan. Pero okay na yun, naaberya na yun. So next naman, si traffic safety for children. This is usually carried out in the home through parental education in kindergarten and nurseries. It is highly unsystematic. So first, elementary. Pupils are usually educated by focusing on the traffic safety and guides classrooms, discussion of accident, incidents, and other basic safety rules. So, sa elementary, tinuturuan na yung mga bata through physical, cognitive, and social development by making them more vulnerable in road traffic than adults. Because yung mga bata kasi, dapat habang maliit pa lang sila, parang nai-inform na natin sila paunti-unti para pag lumaki sila, maiiwasan natin yung mangyaring aksidente pagka hindi natin sila kasama. So next naman is secondary. In this level, students are exposed to driver education programs because they have reached the allow age to drive, hence proper driving habits should be focused on. So, dito naman, pinoprovide yung mga students sa lifetime skills for maneuvering in the public roads and highway. So, next naman, higher education. Some universities or private institutions offer or conduct courses regarding traffic safety. So, dito naman, lalo na sa mga adults, dito naman ina-explain yung mga kakahantungan kung anong mangyayari kapag hindi mo alam yung traffic safety na pwedeng mag-lead through injuries, can lead to lifelong disabilities, including brain and spinal cord injury. Road traffic injuries are leading cause of death among young people aged 15 to 29 based on my research.
Traffic safety education for adults. When we say traffic safety education for adults, yun yung mga sasakyan naman na yung mga nagdra-drive, dapat alam nila yung mga safety yung safety na ginagawa nila para maiwasan yung mga aksidente. For adults only lang to kasi yung mga adults lang naman yung mga nagmumotor, ganun. This is safety education for elder pedestrians and drivers is relatively easier compared to the education designed for younger children, since the former group is a better position to understand what is being thought of them. Number 1, ito yung it is a general belief that by being a better driver, it follows that one becomes a better pedestrian by knowing the limitations of the driver and vehicles as a driving student. One learns to watch out for dangerous cues such as pedestrians. This is the basic reason why traffic safety education for adults usually deals only with the foundations of basic driving. Ito naman ay dapat talaga mag-step sila pag may pedestrians, lalo na pag may dumadaan na mga adults, yung mga lolo, lola, yung mga bata na mabagal lang maglakad. Dapat hinay-hinay lang yung mga driver. Dapat malayo pa lang huminto na sila sa pedestrians. The next one is driver education is carried out in secondary schools and in private and government-sponsored driving schools in a number of countries where people are expected to know how to drive when they reach legal age. The basic purpose of driving education are, ang mga purpose naman tong yung mga nagmumotor, dapat alam nila yung mga safety nila. Ito naman yung mga dapat matutunan nila. to develop good traffic citizens who are equipped to live in motorized society and achieve traffic safety, and to develop citizens who are legally eligible to get a driver's license. Dapat yung mga bata, tinuturuan yung mga 18 years old, dapat sila na lang yung mga nagmomotor sa mga expressway, yung mga ano ba, yung mga national roads, kung dapat yung mga bata hindi pa nagmomotor kasi masyado pa silang bata, hindi pa nila alam yung mga consequences na magagawa nila. For the next one is driver's education. In general, driver's instruction aims to teach the rudiments of driving. Secondary aims are as follows. To instill awareness of one's legal and moral responsibilities in traffic, to teach the abilities required for one to eligible for driver's license. Yun, yung sinasabi nila, dapat yung mga 18 years old, pataas lang yung nagmumotor para alam nila yung consequences ng ginagawa nila. Dapat responsible sila pag nagmumotor sila, lalo na sa mga national roads, mga ganon. For may 4 na basics ng instructions methods. Ito yung comprehensive. Ang comprehensive ay places the students into real-life driving situation from the beginning. The next one is traditional instruction. This type depends on instructor-students communications. Number 3 is commentary driving method. Ito naman ay the student driver is accompanied by an instructor. While the student driver drives, the instructor gives a commentary on her driving, what he sees, what he does, why he does, and what purposes to do, what others are likely to do, mga etc. Ganun. Dapat alam nila kung ano yung ginagawa nila, bakit sila nagmumotor, bakit kung ano-ano yung mga ginagawa nila, kung bakit bakit kailangan nilang mag-aral about sa mga safeties, ganun. And the last one is simulated conditions. Ito naman ay yung on and off road training. The principle of this method is to determine the behavior of the driver. A similar is a static machine with all important features of a car used in driving methods or driving training. These are 2 methods, stimulation, presented, adapt. Itong stimulated conditions, dapat naman talaga, kahit sa off-road, open roads, dapat responsible pa rin sila sa mga ginagawa nila. Dapat may mga instructor pa na nagtuturo sa kanila para alam nila yung ginagawa nila. May 2 parts of method. Ito yung partial simulations method. Ito yung the aim of training is for the sub-task of driving task. The next one is global stimulations method. The training stimulated traffic situations and conditions with the use of stimulators such as training in basic car control skills, perceptual training, and emergency training. Classifications of film as shown by the stimulators. It is analytical film which provides an objective analysis of the driving situations presented to the students. The other one is didactic film which aims to show good driving behavior. Dapat magaling sila mag-drive, dapat hindi sila masyadong mabilis, dapat yung mabagal lang na dapat good behavior sila about dun sa pagmumotor nila para iwas disgrasya. Ganun. The next one is stimulations film. Film offers visual realism to driving situations and therefore a good aid in actual practice. The next one is safety campaign. Safety campaign, ito naman ay also known as the road propaganda, which may be intended simply to inform, or it may be felt that public is already aware of the recommended behavior but needs to be persuaded into adopting it. Dapat alam natin yung safety campaign, dapat pumupunta tayo pag may mga meetings para alam natin yung ginagawa natin. The next one is safety campaign classifications. According to purpose, may be categorized as informational, attitudinal, and behavior, and according to kind of appeal, used to reason by simply feeding the public with identical factual data. Dapat yung mga campaign dapat pinupuntan natin para alam natin yung mga safety sa pagmumotor natin, kung ano yung purpose na bakit tayo nagmumotor, anong purpose yung meeting natin, bakit tayo umattend doon, ganun.